A while back, I made a video about Jazzmaster bridges. I tried to make it as exhaustive as I could, but inevitably I probably left some stuff out. I was trying to cover the most popular bridges at the time, the Mastery, the Staytrem, of course the original Jazzmaster bridge, and the Mustang bridge. I wasn't an expert then, and I don't claim to be now. I was simply trying to explain the pros and cons of each bridge according to my research. At that time, the only hands-on experience I had had with any of those bridges is the original Jazzmaster type bridge that came on my Guyker Jazzmaster. Since that time, I've gotten my hands on a Staytrem bridge, and I've been using it for the past couple years, and I've been very pleased with it. In recent years, there have been even more bridge designs that have come out. I'm thinking about the Halon bridge, the Bensonite bridge, and even though it's a little bit older, the Fender Custom Shop bridge. Which is why I'm excited today to try yet another new bridge on the block. It is the Guyker Jazzmaster bridge, a little bit different concept in that it has roller brass saddles. So it doesn't actually rock, it rolls. So I'm going to take you through the unboxing, the fit up, some sound clips as compared to the Staytrem bridge, and then at the end of the video we'll meet up to talk about the results. Let's go ahead and open this up. You can see the nice custom bubble wrap packaging from Guyker. Let's get into it here. Included in the packaging. Okay, so we have 3 Allen keys or wrenches. I wonder if those are duplicates or if they are for separate purposes. So let's set those aside. All right, here we have our shiny bridge. Now, I assume that these rollers are made of brass. I'm not sure what the rest of the bridge is made out of, if it's chrome or nickel or chrome plated, that kind of thing. I'm going to reach out to the company and ask specifically what the materials are, and if I find out, I will post them down below or on the screen somewhere so that you can be in the know about what the materials are. So the construction, we have these cups or thimbles, and then we have these guys. Okay, so this is really like the Mastery, I believe, the kind of setup, and that makes me think that these Allen wrenches are for specific purposes. So let's open up these and see what the sizes are, what the differences are. Okay, so what I think is you've got one size for this top screw or hex. Let's see which one of these works. Okay, so that one is too small. So let's try the biggest one here. All right, yeah, so that one works. And then what the smallest one is probably for is to get down inside that hex and turn this screw, sort of a set screw that you see coming out the bottom there. All right, so that's kind of the way the Mastery bridge works from what I know about it. And then of course you could just hand take this off the bridge itself, see there, but you could tighten it up with the Allen wrench. And so that's kind of how that works. Now I am curious as to whether or not the bottom of these thimbles, and I can't really tell honestly, but I wonder if they're flat, perfectly flat on the bottom. I mean, obviously they're flat here, but the original Fender ones are sort of concave. They come down to a point and they're big enough where the bridge can rock inside the thimble. And so these are pretty tight tolerance. I mean, there's some wiggle room there. Let me tighten this up a little bit more. So there's some wiggle room there a little bit, but depending on that, you know, it could still rock. But of course, the purpose of this setup is that the strings go over the roller saddles and move that way, and thus the bridge stays in place and it does not rock. So that's what we have. Let's put this on the guitar and see what we got. Let's zoom in a little bit here so you can get a better view. And I didn't look, but I guess, you know, while I'm at it here, no, these are a Phillips head. So sorry for my disgusting fingernails. The tops of these are Phillips head so that you can adjust the intonation. These on the back are just sort of nothing. They just kind of slide in there. So I do not know what this middle wrench is for. Maybe they gave us 2 of these. No? Okay, I don't know. Let's zoom back out. I don't know what the third wrench is for, but if I find out, I'll let you know. All right, let's move on. Oh, and by the way, it does appear to me, if you can see it here, that the bottom of this is concave downward, just like the original thimbles. I can't tell for sure, but that is what I'm seeing. and maybe you can see that as well. I do not think it is perfectly flat on the bottom. However, these guys are flat on the bottom, whereas the fender screws come to a point, and so they sort of rest in the pin or the point of that cup of the thimble, and that way they can rock easily back and forth. This one is obviously flat there, so for what it's worth. And while we're here, this is sort of the looseness or tightness, if you will, of the post inside the thimble. There's the amount of play to give you a picture of that. Okay, let's try to fit this thing in here. This is the Staytrem bridge. If I haven't mentioned that already, I like it a lot. It works well. It's sort of the traditional Jazzmaster setup with the Mustang style saddles. It just fits really well. It's got these pretty beefy set screws and they rock like the Jazzmaster should. So I like this bridge. I'm gonna take it out and swap it with this Guyker bridge. Now, I'm not gonna replace these thimbles. Like I said, I'm not positive. When I look down in there, both the stock ones in my guitar and this one pretty much look identical. So I'm not gonna go to the trouble of trying to take those out. I'm just gonna use the ones I have with this bridge. Now, thinking about this, I'm not sure my Staytrem was like that, right? So I'm gonna put this in like so, and it should drop down. Now that's the easy part. The harder part is setting it up height-wise. So I already measured with my Staytrem. The string height was like 4/64 at the 12th fret on both high and low E strings. So I'm gonna go back and just compare, probably use this to set up the intonation roughly to match this guy. And then I will heighten and lower the bridge, this bridge, accordingly to get the right setup. We'll put these strings back on. I'm using the same strings because I want to use the same strings and be, have sort of a balanced, I want to have the same kind of basis or jumping off point for both bridges, just kind of keep it equal. So using the same strings. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to set this up height-wise and intonation-wise, put the strings back on and get it all set up, and then we'll see how it sounds. I should point out really quickly the height difference of these. So this is the Staytrem with these set screws out, and we're looking at the tops of the saddles, right? So that's where the strings are going to be. And this guy is a lot taller saddles. So if I bring these down like that, then we're almost even at the tops of the saddles. So I may not have to have the set screws poking out at all. Just gonna have to experiment. But again, the saddles on this one are a lot higher as far as compared to the base of the bridge. So we'll figure that out. All right, I've got everything set up here. The only issue I've run into is setting up the intonation. I wish the spring, if you can see it, the spring is on this side of the saddles, and I'm running out of real estate to get the intonation right. It seems like I think the G and the low E are maxed out that way, and that they need to go a little further. So I wish the spring, because it's fully compressed, I can't go any further. I wish it was on this side. I could flip the bridge around, but I've got basically no access to get to the screws that way. So I'd have to take it off, adjust the screws back on. It would be really tedious. So it may be fine. I may just be splitting hairs, but I just wanted to bring that issue to the forefront and let you know about it. So what are my thoughts on the Guyker bridge? Well, my first take was that it was quite a bit darker than the Staytrem bridge. That might be great if your Jazzmaster is extremely bright and you want to tame it down a little bit. It might even push more of the mids through and cut through the mix a little bit better. But then again, that might take away from the magical sort of scooped mid jangly sound of the Jazzmaster. Regarding the sustain, I didn't really notice a big difference. Maybe I didn't let the notes or the chords ring out long enough to make a fair comparison, but even when I was playing the guitar, the difference wasn't that noticeable. But listening back, I would probably give the Guyker bridge a slight advantage. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you wouldn't mind, take a quick second to like, comment, share, or subscribe. It's hard to get any videos even noticed on YouTube nowadays, and that will go a long way in helping me. We'll see you later.